welcome back to the channel. So today we're still going to be talking about some advanced techniques in your mix. I have a song I'm working on, and the song has a lot of guitars, about 9 guitars and some other instruments and some wired drums and crazy vocals. Let's just hear what it sounds like.
We gotta lift the name of the Lord on high. You deserve the glory and the honor. You were slain because of me. Yeah. Glory, glory, glory to the Lamb that was slain for me. To the Lamb that was slain for me.
I realize the vocal is actually missing inside the mix. So how do we rescue the vocal? That's why we are here. So without wasting time, let's get started. Alright, so this is what the vocal sounds like on its own.
Yeah. We gotta lift the name of the Lord on high. You deserve the glory and the honor.
It's already sounding like a lot, but inside that crazy jam, the vocal is nowhere to be found. So I thought of a lot of means, then I ended up deciding to use this distortion pattern, which I'm going to show us now. First thing you do is get an auxiliary track, which I've already created here. Now, if you're using Cubase, you should be looking at getting an FX track. Yeah, and if you're using Ableton, should be thinking of getting a return track. So in every DAW you have a way of doing it. If you're using FL Studio, you should also be sending the track to another track, the return track. Now after getting an auxiliary track created, for the sake of Pro Tools, you know you need to send it to a bus. Yes. But in some DAWs you don't have to go through this procedure, just create your auxiliary track. Then the next thing you do is you send to the track you created. So I'm actually sending to that auxiliary track, which happens to be my bus 1. This is the input of my auxiliary track. So after I sent that, this fader came up. Now notice this, when I play this vocal, this fader here, if I leave it on post, it means it's going to come after the original vocal. Just like you have post-production, this is a post fader. That means whatever I'm going to be doing here is going to be an effect that will be coming after the original vocal. But in this case, I'm looking at creating a sort of distortion and adding some elements that are not in the original vocal to the vocal to support the vocal to stand out in the mix. So we are going to be using a pre-fader. Now this pre-fader means something before the original vocal. So for example, let me turn this on and turn off this lead vocal as well. Still with the pre-fader, I'm still going to have a copy of this vocal right here.
Yeah. We gotta lift the name of the Lord on high.
But if I return it back to the post fader, like you just saw what happened, nothing is coming out. That means it can only come out after the original vocal is.
Glory to the Lamb that was slain.
We just have to turn it to a pre-fader. That means we are doing something outside the original vocal.
Yeah.
Take note, whatever you're doing, any DAW you're working with, you get to look for your pre-fader or your post-fader and switch to the pre-fader. So now, after this is done, we now have like a clone of this original vocal here. So we can now work with it. So the first thing that came into my mind is the original vocal is sounding in the mono, like the middle of the song, and it's missing. It's sinking inside the jam. So what I thought of, okay, what if I create a stereo field? Now creating a stereo field out of a mono track. Should I duplicate the track into two or create two auxiliary and pan one to the left and one to the right? That's a whole lot of stress and CPU usage. So I just added a doubler. If we all know what a doubler is, if you don't know, this is what it looks like. Comes with the Waves plugin. So this doubler by default, you have this sound here and this one all the way down here for it to sound like the original copy. So what I did is I turned down the middle, the center field, and turn up my stereo field. So with this, I've been able to create a stereo image on our new track. So this is what it sounds like before the doubler.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high.
And after the doubler.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high.
Now, you can only feel this effect if you're using your studio monitors or your headphones to watch this tutorial. Just in case you're using just your phone speaker or a mono output source, trust me, you're not going to get what this doubler is doing. So get a stereo field, output and source to listen to it. So after getting a stereo field out of this track, then I now thought of what else was missing in the original track. Okay, the song is high already at the peak. The lady is pitching and she's a female vocalist. She is already having more of the high range. So I thought of why not give it more of a depth, some low frequencies that are missing in the original vocal. So I came up with this guy, Vitamin, also comes with the wave bundle. And what I did is this is before the Vitamin effect.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high. You deserve the glory and the honor. You were slain because of me. Yeah.
So the Vitamin has already boosted the vocal to an extent, but I don't want to add much of these high details to the flowing vocal we are working on. So I had to go further and solo these specific frequencies: 1K, 300 Hz, 200 Hz. This is what I came up with.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high.
Yes, so that was very intentional. The next thing you want to take note about Vitamin is actually after I soloed this band, I came down to this spot and turned all of the bands to full stereo. If I have it this way, they are going to sound in the middle. Here it is.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high. You deserve the glory and the honor. You were slain because of me.
So that is also creating more stereo feel and stereo image to the vocal we are working on. Then I've been able to get rid of all of these bands, and I think I've gotten what I want almost. Then the next thing I did is I picked up a compressor. This is the Mv2 compressor. Mostly I use it to compress on some parallel stuffs. Probably you'll get to see it on one of my videos. I use it to compress mostly effects, reverb, delay, some parallel processing. That's when I use this guy to compress. So after getting that up, I needed the vocal to be more audible, so I applied this compressor.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high. You deserve the glory and the honor. You were slain because of me.
Now, if you can take note, with this off, everything seems to be normal, but once I turn it on, you hear that huge hum, and that's how much of low details we've actually been able to pick up. But that's kind of a noise to the mix. So how do I get that settled? I applied an equalizer on the track and got rid of all of the frequencies that I don't want to be present in the vocal. So you can hear the moment I turn this on, the hum is almost gone. All of this you're seeing here is noise picked up. So we still have a little of it inside here, but there's nothing to worry about because it's just within my shift frequency that I'm working with. You can hear without the equalizer, there's a whole lot of noise. It's going to deal with your mix. So we need an equalizer. It settles a lot of problems. So with this, I've actually shipped what I want, and these other curves here, these are frequencies that I realized that even after shipping this curve, I still realized, okay, the original vocal was actually fighting with some of these frequencies. So I had to come to this place, do some surgical echoing, cutting, and went for that to use dynamics because I don't want to lose much value on this vocal. That's why I have all of these curves here. It's not a necessity. If your vocal is clean after you've been able to get rid of too much load and high frequencies that you don't want to be presented on the distorted track, you can actually work with it. But in my case, in the case of the vocal I'm working with, I needed to do some of the surgical equalizing to get some problems settled. So now this is what we have after the equalizer. Or let's just hear before the equalizer.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high.
And now after the equalizer.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high. You deserve the glory and the honor. You were slain because of me.
If you noticed, with the equalizer, the vocal seems not to hammer that much. That is because all of those places that was having much hammer was actually trying to cause masking problem with the original vocal. So that's why I did this surgical EQ. That's that. And if you don't know how to use a fabfilter Pro Q up to this standard, then there's a video and I'll probably leave the link to that video below, so you can just click on it and watch the introduction. All you need to know about the fabfilter Pro Q3 and how to utilize it and save yourself some huge trouble in your mixes. Okay, so that is that. So let's hear what we have after all of these processes.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high. You deserve the glory and the honor.
So normally this is not an audio or vocal you will want to work with, but for the sake of what we want to achieve, so what I'll do is play the lead vocal and you hear what it sounds like.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high. You deserve the glory and the honor.
Now let's hear what this guy is going to add to this vocal after the processes.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high. You deserve the glory and the honor. You were slain because of me.
Wow, that's a whole lot. Take note of this. You don't want to mess your mix up with any process, so you have to be careful of the amount of whatever you're doing, even in your reverb, your EQ, your delays. You don't want to do excess of anything because excess is actually bad. So be mindful. Now after this, I realized this was actually way too much.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high. You deserve the glory and the honor. You were slain because of me. Yeah. Glory, glory, glory to the Lamb that was slain for me. To the Lamb that was slain for me.
So, like you've seen, I'm actually using a whole lot of processes to achieve this vocal, but at the end, I'm using just a little bit of it to complement the original vocal. So, mixing is kind of technical and it's crazy at times. Sometimes I know beginners actually think doing much is actually the way forward, but truth is, professionals will always tell you the more you look, the less you see. So, a little is actually much, and you might think, okay, what was the need and the essence of all of the stress to get this out, then not being able to utilize it, like maximize it? No.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high.
This is actually damaging my mix. Your vocal is going to die and it's going to sound really fake. So I think I need just this amount and it's okay for me.
Yeah, we gotta lift the name of the Lord on high.
Now, one thing about sound, I always say this in my videos, sound is we've been able to make the listeners believe what we want them to hear. They perceive, they believe, they feel what we want them to hear. So I actually want the listeners to feel this female vocalist has a masculine kind of vocal, and in the real sense we all know that she doesn't have that, but I've been able to create that awareness and make sure listeners think or feel she has a masculine kind of voice. So I don't want to mess things up with too much of that. It's just a little. The original voice has to be the original voice. This is just an element that is not in the original voice, and we are just creating it and adding a little of it to the original voice. So if we play this in this mix compared to without the process and with the process, we're going to hear the difference now. Okay?
We gotta lift the name of the Lord on high. You deserve the glory and the honor. You were slain because of me.
Let's turn it on.
We gotta lift the name of the Lord on high. You deserve the glory and the honor. You were slain because of me. Yeah. Glory, glory, glory to the Lamb that was slain for me. To the Lamb that was slain for me.
So the difference is actually very subtle, very deceitful, very little. Trust me, little is actually much. So you don't want to do too much. And that is that crazy technique on how to build up what is not in your vocal and add it to your vocal. Now this can be applied to any other sound, instrument, drums, guitars, pianos, whatever. Just know what frequency is missing, what element is missing in the sound you're working on, and you know what to build and add to what you already have. That's that, and that's the way of using a distortion. Stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, turn off the notification bell for more content. Still, more videos will be coming your way on advanced techniques in mixing. For now, say goodbye.